All right, let's go over your lab and talk about what it is you should do to try to accomplish it. So I'm going to open it up. So your lab basically gave you a bunch of like some HTML, which was provided for you. You didn't have to actually like create this HTML; it was given to you. And essentially, it has a bunch of stuff on the DOM, okay, on the page where it's like this one will be hidden, this will grow, this will shrink, a link to nowhere, and then console log these things. So basically, a lot of stuff is happening when I click this button. Okay, so here's the thing. Everything's already set up for you. Like the CSS styles are set up for you, the IDs are set up for you, the event listener here for the click is already set up for you. So this on click here equals main means that it wants you that when you click this button, it runs the function main in your script.js. Okay, that's what that means. So let's go ahead and click the button. All right, and so everything changed. This is hidden. The one that was in red is hidden. The one that's green will be shown. This grew. It was bigger than it was before. This is smaller. Okay, this goes to example.com, and then in the console, okay, document object model. All right, so that's what you had to be able to do. So let's kind of walk through what you need to do for this lab. All right, again, there's nothing really to do in the HTML at all because it's all given to you. All the IDs, everything is there. So there's nothing you have to do. The only thing to do is work in script.js. So first things first, let's make a function called main. All right, and then let's go ahead and target all the elements that we need to target. So remember, it's always going to be target the elements you want to do something with. All right, do the thing you want to do with them. Could be adding a class, style, hiding them, showing them, whatever it is you want to do with those elements. This is where you actually go ahead and do that. All right, so but you need to target things first. So if you think about it, the pattern's the same. So the first thing I did was I identified which of these elements do I need in order to do what I want to do. So if we go back, notice that we have this thing that says I will be hidden. So I gotta find this HTML element in my HTML. Well, it's right here. It has an ID of hide-me. All right, so in order to target it, I can do document.getElementById and then its ID. So notice how all these elements have IDs, right? So that's nice and convenient. You can use getElementById to go grab it. If you don't want to use getElementById, you don't have to. You can use query selector. You could just as easily write this as document.querySelector. Okay, hashtag grow me. Okay, no big deal, right? The only difference is with query selector, you have to remember to put the hashtag to denote that you're targeting an ID. Obviously, the function getElementById is going to look at the ID because that's in the name of the functions. It tells you what it does. All right, so I targeted everything: the grow me, shrink me, show me, hide me, text box, header. Okay, and again, what I did was I went and found the tag, I got its ID, and now I know how to target it. So I've got it. The pattern is always going to be that you're going to hold what you're targeting in a variable. Okay, grow me is a variable, shrink me is a variable. They're all HTML elements. If you ever wonder what a variable is, you can hover your mouse over it and see how this HTML element here. Okay, it lets you know what it is. Like, what are you dealing with? All right, so, excuse me. Now, I need to add classes and change styles because in order to hide or show things, right, that's a style thing. So, for example, look at this HTML. We've got hide me, which I will be hidden, which we can visibly see here in the red. And then we've got show me, but show me style is display none. Display none is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Don't display it, right? Like, how do I display this? You don't. Okay, it's hidden. The element is physically here, but like you won't see it because display is none. So in order to show it, okay, so we're going to hide me and show me. If you'd like to hide something, you need to put display none. If you'd like to display it again, you need to put display block. All right, so the syntax is element.style.display equals none or block. So if it's none, it means you want to hide it. If it's blocked, it means you want to show it. You also can change classes. Now notice at the bottom of your HTML you had classes here. You had a big class, we had some targeting for the IDs for show me. So you already have the styles and stuff worked out for you. You don't need to do this. All right, grow me means I want to give it the big class. So in order to do that, you do grow me dot class list dot add and then the name of your class. So basically what I'm saying is take this element here and add the class big to it. And what big does is it changes the font size to 300%. So that way when I click this button, see how it grew? Okay, the font size got to be 300%. All right, these ones are pretty easy because all you have to do is just, go ahead and grab them by their ID and change their add a class or remove a class and change their style. That's all you really have to do. So that part's simple. May have had some problems with the links, okay, down here. All right, let's first talk about the links. So notice in your HTML, all right, let's go find it. We had a link, okay, this A tag. It has a class link, okay, so we can target it by this class. It doesn't have an ID, but it does have a class. All right, and the href, the base of the location of where the link goes to currently is broken link, so it doesn't go anywhere. All right, cool. So I got the link by its class name, okay, but remember, document get elements by class name is always going to give you an array. It is not going to give you a singular element. That's just the way the function works. So notice down here I have link, and then I'm using it like an array. The first element, which is going to be this right here, is I'm going to take its href and change it to this. It's really just that simple. There's nothing really super fancy you have to do. Href is a property. I'm just going to change it over to example.com. And then I'm going to change its inner HTML or inner text would work just as well here to somewhere. That way it will change this text. So this is the inner text right here. Okay, that's what this does. It's inner HTML, inner text. We'll change it to what I want. All right. Last but not least, we had to get the list tags. So notice here we had OL ordered list. And then we have these LI tags. So I wanted to get all these LI tags because I wanted to do the console log of all of them. That's pretty easy. First off, I'm going to get elements by tag name. Okay, remember, this is plural, elements, plural, so this is going to be an array. So I want to get all the LI elements on the page. It saves it to this array. Cool. I'm going to loop through the array for let tag of LI tags console.log tag.innerHTML. So that will console log the text inside of it. Okay. The biggest thing you got to remember is that if you see it plural in the function name, get elements by class name, get elements by tag name. You are dealing with an array by definition. Okay. If it's singular, like get element by ID, you're dealing with a singular element. So just remember that that's going to change like how you deal with it. So for example, with these li tags, I'm going to use a for loop. I'm going to loop through all the tags and then just spit out whatever their inner HTML is. All right, so basically all this lab needs you to do is to be able to target things, okay, by their ID, by their tag name, by their class name, okay? And you just need to know how these functions work. Practice with them for a little bit so you understand what the function gives you back. After that, it's pretty simple. Style.display none hides things. Style.display block shows things. You can add and remove classes at will, okay? And then you can always change the properties of the tag. So if you ever don't know, for example, how do I change href? Chances are you can just directly do it. You don't actually need to do anything fancy. It could just be .href because that's a property of the tag. So don't overthink it. All right, that was the first lab.